Hi, everybody. I'm Donald Clark. It's good to be back. Let me know if the audio is off on this, and we'll try it again. So, thank you for stopping in. And wow, we had a storm finally. It's I think the first snowstorm in central New York that we've had in a couple of years, really. So it was nice to finally see some snow, and boy, did we need the water. So everyone's wells are back up, and the creeks and the swamps will be back up. So that's good. We needed the water, and then let's bring on spring, right? So today we're going to talk a little bit about how important it is to keep your digestive healthy, your keep your gut health up. Um, we've all heard, you are what you eat, and um, and to an extent that is true. If you're eating really bad foods and highly processed foods and sugary foods, um, you're gonna get sick, right? And when I mean sick, I mean you're gonna feel horrible, and you're gonna get bloating and gas and constipation, and you know, and that's a level of being sick per se. And so the idea is to try to maintain a good healthy gut health, or a good healthy um, diet, really. And I can honestly say that you know I'm sensitive to gluten, and a lot of people are. I have celiac disease? No, I don't. But if I eat too much gluten, do I feel horrible? Yes, I do. And why is that? I think it's because the gluten today is not the gluten of yesterday, right? So we've got a lot of genetically modified wheats, and I think our bodies process that, digest that a little bit different than they did, 50 years ago. And I think gluten sensitivity is a real thing. So what happens when I eat too much gluten? A few things. It's like a balloon expanding. I can feel the inflammation in my body just growing, And it always meant for me, it'll always manifest in bloating and joint pain, right? So because the inflammation gets bad, so arthritis kicks in. But it's arthritis, it's inflammation, and so that's one example of a you know, dietary concern. Is gluten. Everybody has some kind of dietary sensitivity, be it dairy or wheat, or other things as well. And so it's important that we eat within our boundaries of what our bodies need. Some people can plow through gluten and it's not a problem at all. Other people have a hard time with it. And so, but what happens? What happens when our digestive tracts are off? We get bloated, we get gassy, there's pain, there's constipation or diarrhea, or fluctuating back and forth. And you also feel kind of, you know, weak and tired, right? Because your absorption rates are down. If you're eating food and there's a ton of inflammation and your stomach's upset, you're not absorbing the nutrients that out of the food that you need to in that amount of time, right? So, it's just a host of problems. It's like the first domino to fall, and it just leads to so many more problems in your body. And if that goes unchecked and your gut health it just gets completely out of balance, you can end up with a few things. You can end up with Crohn's disease or irritable bowel, um, ulcers. You can even get ulcers. So a few things can really explode, and all of those, uh, if untreated, can lead to death. And it's not something to play around with. Your gut health is super duper important, and the Western diet is not advantageous for um, gut health at all. If anything, it's high. high corn syrup, um, s- uh, highly processed foods, lots of wheat and sugars and all of that, and that's really bad for you, right? And but we are a go society, and we barely take time for meal prep. I mean, we're busy people, right? We can't be 100% perfect all the time, but the goal is to try to cook meals with whole food, whole foods, not out of a can, not frozen, not microwavable, but actually cutting up food, chopping food, peeling food, cooking food, um, you know, trying to cook with whole foods. It's so important. You know, lifestyle is important. One way that you can avoid all the pitfalls of a poor diet is to focus on eating fatty foods, focus on eating fatty meats, and the value of that is far outweighs eating 16 different kinds of empty calories, chips and cookies and all that stuff. Why would you want to fill up and destroy your gut health with empty calories when you could just eat, a fillet, a very fatty fillet of fish, or a very fatty fillet of steak, or something like that, and be full and cut down on inflammation? So, eating carno is good, eating keto is good. There's a couple diets that will benefit you. We're going to focus on, making sure you have a good gut health, right? And so some of the things that could just beat on your gut health, antibiotics or medications, they can really cause a lot of havoc with your absorption rates, your stomach, your intestines, and your gut health. And so, if you're on a lot of medications, which a lot of people are, consider taking probiotics, right? And a probiotic is a microorganism or a bacteria that's naturally in your stomach. But if you are taking a lot of medications, even a lot of over-the-counter medications, it throws the balance off. So there's not enough of the healthy microbes to help your digestion and absorption rate. So taking a probiotic is going to be super beneficial for you. Um, Eating raw food too much, too much of anything is bad for you, right? So moderation is the key. If you're going to eat a lot of raw food, it puts a lot of pressure on your stomach to perform at optimal levels. It's a lot of energy that goes into bringing it back up to temperature, and break it down and digest it. So eating a lot of raw food is not a good idea, and that goes for eating a lot of cold foods or a lot of hot foods. If all you're eating is hot food, or as all you're eating is cold food, it's going to damage your stomach and your your gut health. So you need to moderate. You need to be a bit flexible and a bit creative with your diet. You can't just eat the same thing over and over and over again. You need to add in different things along the way. Um, different fats, different avenues of fats, and and keep that in mind. Now, you know, if high stress will lead to ulcers, right? Especially in men, and that's affecting your digestion tract. So, slowing down, trying to eat better for you, cutting out all the empty calories, all that's going to reduce your stress level, which is going to put less pressure on your digestive tract. Now, acupuncture is super duper beneficial in treating these conditions. Um, Crohn's disease is no joke. It cannot cure Crohn's disease, um, but it can help treat it. It can take some of the pain away, some of the bloating, irritable bowel, irritable bowel with specific, you know, probiotics and stress reductions with acupuncture. It's going to help irritable bowel substantially, and that's proven. And any kind of gluten sensitivity, is any what I'm trying to say is that acupuncture and Chinese medicine will help with the symptoms of it. At the end of the day, if you're going to the store, you're going to Wegmans or Tops or wherever, or Whole Foods, and you're buying the things you're not supposed to eat because you're buying them, well, then there's nothing that we can do about it because you're constantly, filtering in all the bad stuff into your diet. So at the end of the day, the trick is to not purchase it to begin with, right? So we're all responsible for, purchasing our own groceries and our own foods. And I know a lot of us shop for other people in the house, and that's understandable. But it needs to be a family affair for sure. To really be effective, everyone kind of needs to be on the same page. Unless you are just super strong and you cannot eat it. But if you're purchasing it and it's in the cupboard or it's in the fridge, you're probably going to eat it, right? Because you're hungry and you're looking around. What do I got? Oh, well, there are the English muffins, and wow, they look good. So you're going to eat them. You know, be strong. Try not to purchase it to begin with. Try to focus a little bit more on meal prep, which is hard to do. I get it, but going back to acupuncture, it's a pretty amazing how quickly results can happen with acupuncture when treating abdominal issues. Um, Bloating and uh, inflammation, fluid accumulation is so easily moved by stimulating the chi in the meridians. So, I have to tell people, most of your weight gain is bloat, right? It's water. And, even intermittent fasting is such a good idea, or a lower caloric intake. What that's going to do, it's going to help your body process what it already has in there, and metabolize it out, and move it out before you're putting more in, right? If you're constantly eating throughout the day, every day, there's no breaks, right? Your body's just churning and churning and churning, and your digestive tract is churning and churning and churning. And if you're eating the wrong things, then you're dealing with problems with gut health and absorption rate. So those are some of the things you do. Take breaks, eat one meal a day, fast for a day if you can, and I think you'll feel so much better if you can reduce your caloric intake a little bit, and or maybe even skip a couple meals one day and fast. And for those people that can, not everybody can, and I don't recommend extended fasting at all, unless you're under the supervision of your physician, and there's got to be a good reason for that. But I do recommend, skipping some meals and maybe fasting for a day. And what that's going to do, it's going to help metabolize the inflammation and the fluid retention out, and you're not going to be putting the bad stuff in. So it gives your body a chance to catch up, right? Honestly, your digestive tract, starts with your stomach, ends in the bathroom, and it's like drainage, right? And so if you're constantly putting it in, it's just going to back up, and you're going to have problems. And so, like I say, acupuncture is really, really good at helping these problems. Constipation is horrible for a lot of people, but treating the stomach meridian and the large intestine meridian, the spleen meridian, and moving that chi gently will help that movement of the bowels to go. And it's so non-invasive and really pain-free, and you get such good results. And it helps with the inflammation too. So, try to make those subtle changes into your gut health, right? Don't don't plow through life eating whatever you want to eat. It's awesome at the time, but it's going to catch up to you fast, be it with just overall inflammation and bloating, or it can progress into something more serious, like irritable bowel, or Crohn's disease or something like that. And you don't want that. That's bad stuff. And if you live to be 50, or if you live to be 70, um, that's a long time to be treating your body like that. So you can't do that. You need to. The sooner you get on, the sooner you're healthy, the better you'll be in the long run. I hope that helps everybody. And I know, it's kind of quick, but gut health, right? oh, happy St. Patrick's Day. Don't drink too much. And have fun. And the key to life, I swear, is moderation. So try to keep it simple. Thank you.